Hussbus bus stop. Good morning, everybody. JP Hussey here of the Hussey Team Mortgage Advisors with this week's Hussbus bus stop. I hope everybody is well. Another beautiful day out here in the Philly suburbs. Baseball is over for us, coaching baseball. 10U, Pennsylvania Ironman state champs. The champs are here. But now it's over. Time for football, then basketball, then right back to baseball, baby. Anyway, wanted to talk a little bit about different loan programs, how those loan programs are affected in this market when the seller has most of the leverage here, but maybe trying to help educate so you as the buyer can get the most out of your financial game plan wrapped around your house, while looking to get your offer accepted. It's still tough to get offers accepted out there. You really, again, the seller has a lot of leverage, so you're kind of following their lead if you really want that house. But again, you got to make sure you're setting yourself up and know your options when buying a house, all right? A lot of people think you have to go one way to get a house accepted. Not necessarily, so let's arm you guys with some knowledge, okay? So we want to talk a little bit about loan programs. So in the mortgage world, you have a few different loan programs, right? You have the typical conventional loan, all right? You have jumbo loans. That's in this current market, anything over $548,250. When the loan amount's higher, it's a jumbo loan. We can talk about that later in another episode. You have FHA loans, right? Government loans, also VA loans, veteran loans, government loan. USDA, that's a rural loan. So these are the most of the different options, and they're all different depending on obviously how you qualify, what's best for you financially, and that's what I want to hit on, all right? So today I want to talk a bit about FHA loans, even versus the typical conventional loan. That's what you're seeing, what most sellers want. When they see a pre-approval come across their desk, the listing agent and the seller, and they're trying to pick between offers, what we're seeing is they're mostly going to look at conventional loans, right? Typically, in the mortgage world, in the real estate world, people that have conventional loans are usually the stronger buyers, right? Might have higher credit scores. The debt to income ratios aren't allowed as high like FHA, right? Which means that their debt load might not be as heavy. Which means they would qualify a bit better in simple terms, all right? But sometimes, depending on your specific situation, a conventional loan might not be the best option for you, okay? So, for instance, with conventional loans, the lower your credit, and remember, 740 or above is going to get you the best rates or pricing. But as you fall into buckets between 719 to 730, and below goes kind of in 10s, and you're in the 700 range and you go into 6s. Once you hit those buckets, you start getting worse pricing, right? Which means you're gonna have to pay more for a rate, or the rate's gonna be higher, okay? And also with conventional loans, the mortgage insurance, if you put down less than 20% down, the mortgage insurance, depending on how much you're putting down and your credit score, can be higher or lower, all right? So conventional loans, there's a lot of different things going on, all right? And really, the lower the credit score, the less you put down, sometimes you get worse pricing. So it might not be the best loan for you when buying a house, right? So FHA could come into play. So FHA, it's backed by the government, all right? Because the government's saying, hey, we're going to guarantee, let's say the person forecloses on the loan, we're going to guarantee that we're going to help that lender who's holding that, you know, we're going to give them some money, right? So in this situation, in almost all situations, FHA rates are going to be much lower than conventional, all right? Also, mortgage insurance is standard, no matter if your credit score is 800 or if it's 600. It's the same mortgage insurance per month, okay? Which I believe right now is 80 bips, 85 bips. Don't quote me on that. Look that up. I'll get back to you later on that. It's right in that range, okay? So if you have a higher credit score, usually conventional loan might be better for you, right? Because you're getting a cheaper mortgage insurance. But it's not all about mortgage insurance. Rates are also lower on FHA. On conventional, they're higher, right? So it could even out, all right? So we've run a lot of different scenarios where sometimes, depending on the budget of the client, of how much they're putting down and their budget for total amount of money out of pocket, that's the number that matters, right? How much money do I need? What's my payment? A lot of cases, FHA might be better for clients. However, sellers sometimes do not like FHA loans. And the real reason behind that is sometimes there's a stigma around people with FHA loans are a worse client, right? In terms of qualification. So these sellers have to make sure that, you know, they have a good client that's actually the loan's going to be, it's going to go through, that they get paid. Totally understand. Not beating them up, right? But sometimes FHA is better financially for the client. And even on qualifying sides, you get a higher debt to income ratio. Sometimes it's easier to qualify with FHA rather conventional. And this is always changing, right? But that's something we have to look at, right? Now, another reason that sellers don't love FHA sometimes is sometimes there are some harder appraisal conditions, right? The biggest one is what you see if a house is built before a specific time and there could have been lead paint, right? What appraisers look for, if there's any peeling paint, window sills, somewhere on the house, they're going to make that seller fix that before closing, all right? That's the biggest one, right? If it is a conventional loan and there's if there's any safety issues, that's always going to be picked up. But yeah, you're right. Peeling paint's not going to be picked up on the conventional side. But depending on the house, right, it might be all siding. It might not be any peeling paint. You're going to be fine with FHA, right? So what I would really say here is really look at your finances. Remember, we always go back to how much money do I need? What's my monthly payment? Have your loan officer or lender work up both options to see what's financially better for you. And then look at the house, right, that you are putting an offer in. And there's not really issues with peeling paint. It's a newer type home. Older homes could have issues with FHA sometimes, right? But if it's a newer type home, like FHA is not going to be an issue. And it might be easier to qualify given the higher debt to income ratios. And it might have a much lower rate. Sure, the PMI might be there, but your payment might be less than the conventional side, right? So there's a lot of different ways you want to look at this. And you don't want to just throw FHA out the window if it makes sense for you financially. So this is a shout out to all our real estate agents as well, right? If you truly have your clients back here, you know, push for FHA if it makes more sense. Look at that house. Be the expert here and see if FHA would be good financially for your client. Then talk to that listing agent. Be like, there's not going to be issues here. Let's get rid of that stigma on FHA because this is better for all parties, actually. So I don't want, going in this crazy chaotic world of mortgages and real estate right now, really look at your specific situation financially. Have your real estate agent look at it. Speak to your lender or loan officer or mortgage broker that has your back, that can work these things and help guide you here, because it's really, really important to fine tune and put yourself in the best situation possible with the amazing terms that you can get nowadays. Fine tune it, because what comes down must go up at some point, and you want to get locked into something that really makes sense for you for the long term and the short term. If you guys should have any questions, please do not hesitate to hit us up at any time, and I hope you have a great day. Later. Hussbus bus stop.